Joined by the head coach of the Avs, as we are every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, Jared Bednar. Coach, congrats on the win last night. How you doing?
Yeah, doing good.
The big thing last night that stood out to me, and really over the last week or so, is the impact of Victor Olofsson on your team. And you guys seem to have found these guys where you bring them in on smaller contracts and they outproduce what they're being paid. Is Victor Olofsson another example of a guy who can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question. I think he's a guy that showed a lot of promise as a young guy in Buffalo, and when he went to Vegas last year with a real good team, they kind of slotted him in a supporting role with some of their big stars. He played with Eichel, he played with Stone, he played with Carlson on the second line at times. And he found a home on one of their power plays as that weak side flank shooter. And he had a really good year. He took a big step last year. You know, teams are, with the cap being flat the last handful of years, it's tough to find, depth scoring and bring in guys all the time. And we've had some success with some other guys in the past, and we really like what we saw him with, especially last year out of Vegas, and thought he'd be a really good fit for us with some of our other guys moving on for bigger and better contracts. And, we've been really happy with him. We knew he was going to be able to, score at a certain clip and provide some of that goal support and help our power play. But we've been really happy with the detail in his game and the checking aspect and, how he plays within our structure. And I think you play him with, some high-end players, he's going to produce because he's got like an elite shot in the National Hockey League.
Hey, Coach, just curious, with Blackwood ready now, what prompted you to start Wedgwood last night?
Yeah, just Wedgie's play over the last little bit, I think Blackie's still knocking some rust off. It's been a long time. The thing with Blackie is he had his procedure done shortly after the season ended, and everything was going great, and all the gym work was going great, and rehab was going great. And when it was time for him to get on the ice in August, he just wasn't feeling quite as good as what he thought he would be, after taking the time and doing the rehab. And so he kind of had to take a step back, and it was middle to late August. He got looked at again by the doctors, and everything was fine. Like on that side of it, it's just the rehab side of it. He needed to change some things and make sure that he was, doing a bunch of different sort of pushing laterally to, that would mimic more of what he was going to see on the ice. And so that was bugging him a little bit. So, cautiously, we just kept him in the gym doing some of that stuff, doing a lot of those movements. So when he got back on the ice, he'd feel good, and it's been a build-up ever since. But he hasn't played hockey, since last year. So Ed's has been, working at a different clip late summer, training camp. It was a long time, lots of exhibition games, and he's looking real sharp. So we're going to mix Blackie back in and get him going, and it's a long year. We're going to need both those guys. So I didn't feel like there was a big rush. And specifically for this week, we had practice. We have a practice day today. We got a practice day Friday, and then we get ready to go in a back-to-back. So he'll play one on the weekend again and get a bunch more practice time in to help knock that rust off.
Coach, I thought about that old Billy Crystal line in that movie, and I forget which movie it was, but he says, you have surgery. When it happens to somebody else, it's a procedure. But when it happens to you, it's surgery, right? I mean, if you're the one getting cut on and whatnot, just cracks me up. And it's expected that he's going to take some time to get back. But luckily, you have two goalies who can get the job done, so that's a cool thing. And you've got other guys who can get the job done. We were talking about it earlier on the Ross Colton goal. I know you coach players because you want them to be better, because you want to win. But how good do you feel when you get a guy like Sam ML&K and you give him an opportunity and you coach him up and you watch him start to blossom and get more confidence before your very eyes?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's part of the fun of coaching. It's the best part about coaching is the competition, the games. it's competing to win, and the second part of it is like, regardless whether it's a young player and you draft him or sign him as a free agent like Sam, or you get an older guy in that you can help his game and see him take it to another level and help your team win, or if they move on for and make a great career out of it. It's always nice to kind of have a small part in that, and but you have to be able to find young guys and help them develop their game. It's more difficult when you're in a position where you feel like you have a contending team and you're trying to win all the time. Like a lot of our young guys, we've traded over the years to get players like Arturi Lehkonen, Josh Manson, so we haven't had a lot of, super young guys in our team, but we're at the point where you have to keep like developing those guys. And if you move some of them on, great. And the guys that make your team and that you like and think are a fit, you have to help them get to peak performance in the league. We've got Bardakov, Brindley, a guy like Sam. Now Jack Deshawn's kind of come up through our organization and is doing a really nice job for us as well. And it's great to see those guys get rewarded for their years of hard work.
Jared Bednar with us. All conversation with the coach are brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, proudly rooting for Colorado's hockey team. I know that we talked about this last week, but maybe some reinforcements coming back. Sammy G, LOC, those two, are they pretty close to getting back on the ice?
They've been skating. Both those guys have been skating for quite some time now. We were hoping to get both of those guys back possibly even this weekend. I think that's still up in the air, but definitely getting close. It's that last little hurdle of taking contact and feeling good. OC's still on schedule. He looked like he was ahead of schedule for a while. You get back and you get skating, you start pushing it to another level. Things pop up like soreness and this and that, like normal things that you have to work through after some of these surgeries. Sam is on a timeline that should put him back, next week sometime, we're thinking. And it could be the same thing for Logan O'Connor, maybe next weekend, maybe this weekend, maybe in the middle of the week. It's just going to depend on exactly how they feel. You want them to come back feeling really good about where they're at, and there's no immediate rush. So trying to be cautious but still push these guys back, but it'd be really nice to get obviously those guys. Kivi Ranta is going to miss a little bit more time. We'll see Brindley back in the lineup this weekend after that hit he took in Vegas. So we've had kind of 3-4 guys out all year, including Blackwood, and now we're starting to get a little more healthy, which is a real good sign.
It was a pleasure, Coach, to watch two of the world's best snipers on the ice at the same time last night. And I found it interesting in a recent podcast, Nathan McKinnon was asked, what player do you like to watch the most? And he mentioned Kucherov. What do you see? What's the biggest, compare and contrast those two players from what you see?
Oh, completely different. Completely different style. Even though they're putting up very similar numbers on a year-to-year basis, different style. Like Max, straight line, big, strong, bull in the china shop. He gets a lot of his chances from powering through people, playing with guys on his back, taking the puck into hard areas. And not that Kucherov doesn't, but Kucherov can slow the game down to his pace at all times. He's an elite passer, distributor of the puck. Thinks the game on a different level from almost everybody in the league for me. Just puts the puck in right areas for other guys to capitalize, and he scores a lot too because he's so nifty. But really slick hands and being able to pass through traffic, under, over, around guys all the time at his pace. I think it's a different game, but both really fun to watch. But I would say two totally different sort of styles when you look at a couple top guys in the league that put up similar numbers.
I know you probably went to bed, so let me go through that final 3 minutes for you last night, okay? If they pull Vasilevsky and the Lightning come in winning 5 in a row and playing really good hockey like they can do, And in that entire span, Coach, in the 6-on-5, you allowed one shot on goal officially.
That's crazy.
5 blocked shots. Guys were selling out. And that I know does your heart good. 3 of them, though, were blocked by Cale Makar, including the one late on the Kucherov one-timer. Number one, how proud of you were that the compete level of your guys, and number two,
how scared are you?
Yeah, I don't want to barf, but how is 8?
Yeah, well, like the thing is about Tampa, right? Elite power play. Struggling a little bit out of the gate to start the season. I thought our penalty kill did an exceptional job keeping him out of the zone yesterday, stuffing him at our line. It's penalty kill's been rolling. Prater's got those guys dialed right in, and when we need a big save, we've been getting it on the penalty kill. I love the rotation of those guys. The 5 versus 6 at the end, it's especially with Tampa, they're trying to get you to spread out a little bit, and then they are going to put it to the net. And a 6-on-5 would be if you're going to take care of their shooters up top and the way they kind of spread out in the zone, and you're making sure you're trying to keep those pucks off the net. Ultimately, they're going to have a 3-on-2 at the net front, and they are hard to handle down there. They got a lot of skill, come up with a lot of second chances and rebound pucks and score out of chaos at the net front. So they make it difficult on you. It's a relatively simple plan, but it's a repeatable plan, and they have a lot of success with it even this year already. So, but when you get a game on the line, you may have guys that have played really good games, or for us probably last night, lack some energy, and we're just grinding through like a long night against Tampa, and then they sacrifice at the right times like Cale did. I just think that's huge. It says a lot. It's something like as a coach that you have to identify. I think we got to show our guys at the end of the game to reinforce it, and because that 3 minutes, regardless of how you played the whole night, the game is on the line, and we want the 2 points. We don't want to be going to overtime or a shootout. So, I love what our guys did on that 6-on-5. The coaching staff was all sitting around talking about it at the end of the game. We were inside, protecting the house, battling for those rebounds. If it bounced out to them and they found their extra shooter, we were getting in those lanes and keeping it off our net. And if we needed a save, we got it. So I just thought all around great job by our fellas to finish the game.
And Cale's okay?
He is, yeah.
Thank praise 8-pound, 9-ounce baby.
Coach, last thing for you. How often have you coached 2 brothers on the same team, with Taylor Makar playing in San Jose?
Yeah. I don't know if ever. Yeah, I don't know if ever. That was. I think that was a real special night for their family. Taylor is a guy. He missed all the training camp for us, right? Because he had off-season surgery and was skating on his own, doing all the goalie work before and after our sessions. And spent a lot of time with Pop on the ice, doing skill work and getting his conditioning up. And we wanted to give him an exhibition game, so we gave him one at the end of the at the end of the exhibition schedule against Dallas. Obviously, he was still knocking some rust off, but he went down to the Eagles and has played to his identity. He's a big, strong, hard skating, straight line player that adds a little skill and kind of plays. When he's playing to that identity, he can play in the National Hockey League, and he's a young player coming out of college. So we're excited about him, and he got off to a good start, as did Tristan Nielsen, who played last night. And with some of the injuries we have an opportunity to look at these guys, sort of reinforce that they're on the right track, that they're doing the right things with the Eagles. And if they keep doing that, then there's going to be some opportunity here for them. And it's always nice to see those guys come up back-to-back games, 2 guys playing their first NHL games, one a young guy out of college and one guy that's been grinding in the American League that we got out of the Vancouver system. So it was exciting to see Cale's family all up in the stands watching both of them play. And, he had a great game, so you go back and keep working on his game with the Eagles, and I'm sure we'll see him again in the near future.
Did Kale make him polish his skates or something like that?
I don't know if you guys caught it, but like in the warm-ups, the equipment guys had Taylor's jersey as and his nameplate was Makar, and they put a C in front of Kale.
It's Donnie, Donnie did a great job.
Like the Norris Trophy, like one of the top players in the league had C Makar on the back of his jersey, and Taylor just had Makar. So Kale became the secondary Makar for that night. It was pretty funny.
It was awesome, really awesome.
Coach, well, congrats on the win last night. We'll talk to you next week. Always appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Take care.
Head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar, joins us every single week. And all conversations with the coach brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, proudly rooting for Colorado's hockey team.
And that's got to be weird because, we know the difference between the two players. But at the end of the day, they're brothers, right? And so you don't treat your brother any differently. You always treat, no matter what your brother does, no matter what he accomplishes, it's always going to be your brother. You treat him like your brother. I'd love to know their personal conversations away from the ice.
Yeah, if my brother became president, do I still call him Dumb A or whatever I call him?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You aren't Mr. President to me.
I bet Nolan would make you call him that, though. I bet he would. No.
You were too drunk to get back up on a boat during my wedding. I've seen things from you.
Hey, did you see when the new pope became pope, they interviewed his brother who lives in Florida? How's that relationship? Hey, bro, what up? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, the Sox lost again. Hey, all right. Hey, it's a great time, though, as we're done with Coach, but to tell you about the big blood drive coming up here in November, Vitalant and the Avalanche are fighting cancer for Hockey Fights Cancer Month. During the month of November, schedule a blood donation at any Vitalant donation center or blood drive using the Colorado Avalanche virtual blood drive link. Everyone who donates will be entered to win an autographed Avs jersey. Go to vitalant.org/hockeyfightscancer for more information and to sign up.
Yeah, my brother becomes a pope. He's not the pope to me.